I'm dispensing these drugs. They're coming back every month, but they're not getting any better. Their symptoms might have been good, like their blood pressure might be stable, but generally they actually, over time, they would take more and more medications and feel less and less healthy because they'd have to take more medications. Hey everybody, my name is Josh Rimany. I am the pharmacist that de-prescribes drugs by giving people health and wellness tips, tricks, hacks to moving their health from maybe not so good to vibrant. Follow along if you're ready to go beyond the pills. So we have this saying in pharmacy amongst us pharmacists that, what do we really do for a living? How do we make a living? And it's slinging pills to pay the bills. And unfortunately, dispensing medications for a living is no longer serving us because we're not getting paid what we need to get paid to run our businesses properly and take care of our patients. And guess what? Our patients, people, especially Americans, they're taking more and more of these medications, and chronic disease is on the rise. This is a fundamental problem and breakdown in our healthcare. So, what do you think about filling less prescriptions, making more money, and getting way better patient outcomes? That's what we're here to talk about today. My name is Josh Rimany. I'm a pharmacist. I'm the pharmacist that de-prescribes drugs for my patients. I do this by giving them wellness solutions for their health and well-being, delivering vibrant health that goes beyond the pill. And I love guiding pharmacists to do the same. So why did I become a pharmacist? And also, more importantly, why did I become the anti-pharmacist that's really de-prescribing drugs? Well, my healthcare journey started when I was 16 and I had leukemia. I was diagnosed with leukemia and I went through 3.5 years of chemotherapy, radiation to the brain. But I got through it. I got through on the good end of it. It was a long, hard struggle, but I really wanted to take care of people like they had taken care of me. I wanted to cure people of diseases. And so the tiny concoctions that they gave me with chemotherapy, the red and the green, the blue and the yellow, all that good stuff intrigued me because, of course, they were injecting in my body. So, you know what? I said, I think I want to be a pharmacist. And so I went to pharmacy school and I graduated and I became a pharmacist. And I worked for the retail chains. And for the next 10 years of my career, I dispensed medications to people over and over, day in for day, week after week, month after month. And I started understanding a new way. Like there was just something going on. There was something there. And that thing was, I'm dispensing these drugs. They're coming back every month, but they're not getting any better. Their symptoms might have been good, like their blood pressure might be stable, but generally they actually, over time, they would take more and more medications and feel less and less healthy because they'd have to take more medications. That wasn't enough for me. My journey to the why was this happening led me to integrative health and functional medicine. I became a functional medicine practitioner. Well, 10 years in the chains, I got sick of the healthcare and I decided to start my own pharmacy. And I started a community pharmacy in the town in which I lived. And I helped people. But I remember I filled every prescription the first 2 years. Every single prescription, 6 days a week. And on the 7th day, we were closed. And that's when I did the business stuff. And for 2 years straight, I did that. And I started to realize at that point, I'll never forget the time when I was sitting back thinking, all right, they're taking all these medications. They're not getting any better. This is before I became a functional medicine provider. And when I got my second year tax returns, I had more sales, but less profit. And I said, something's got to give. And this is when I started the process over the next 14 years to develop a way to get better patient outcomes and solve that problem of dispensing. And so we're going to talk about the 6 pillars to go beyond the pills today. And that framework is how you can set yourself up for the new pharmacy of the future. The first pillar is diversify. We have to diversify off the prescription dispensing to the insurance companies. So what does that mean? That means, if you're a financial planner, you don't buy one stock and expect that you're going to have a plan, right? But typically, independent community pharmacies, we've been dispensing drugs. 95% of our profitability has come from the drug spend. Well, they no longer pays for what we need anymore. So we have to diversify. What's your beyond the pill percent? What is the percent of your profits in your store, in the pharmacy, going again away from dispensing? Well, the platforms that we have and that we teach and that we guide others with, the goal is to get to 40 to over 50% of your revenue streams, your profitability in your stores, to go beyond the dispensing pill. So how do you start there? How do you diversify out dispensing in a pharmacy? Well, I call it the AND approach. And in Dilworth Wellness Center, we call it the Dilworth approach. What the AND approach is we want to do what's best for the patient outcome and the business outcomes at the same time, every time. And if we do that, we're on the goal to success of going beyond the pill. So you can't just fill a prescription for blood pressure, make a couple dollars on it, and send the patient home correctly with the medication. That's not the AND approach. The AND approach is filling that prescription, talking to the patient about some lifestyle changes, maybe some wellness programs that you've created, and maybe some supplements that they could take in your store, quality nutrient products that are going to be helpful for their disease states, their conditions they're in, or even the nutrient depletion that the drug has caused. Drug nutrient depletion is almost 50% of medications, and we're not teaching our patients to take and get those nutrients back in them. So using that AND approach is the first step that we can do to move beyond the pill and move to this new pharmacy that's going to save our patients and ourselves in the process. We need to move from a sick care model to a well care model in pharmacy. Sick care, I say that because it's more like dispensing a drug. People are sick, right? They're coming to you because they're sick. They're not coming to you because they want to be well. They might think that, but they're really there to become less sick. Now, moving to a well care model is scary to pharmacists, right? We're not classically trained in things like clinical nutrition or health coaching or even integrative or functional medicine. So we have to learn these skills before we can apply them into the workflow of our pharmacy. So that takes a little skill, takes a little work, but we do need to evolve if we're going to survive. The next pillar is really around personal to personalized. Personal service is how independent pharmacies have got to the table. We're better than the chains. They know it. It's every year after year. We give great service in exchange for them to use us for their prescriptions. But again, if that doesn't pay for everything we need, what are we going to do? Well, personalized medicine is here. We can optimize our patients with compounded prescriptions that aren't commercially available. We can use supplementation, and we can use things like genomics to really get down into their wellness, personalized health journey. And guess what? Amazon and the chains, they can't touch personalized. They got to be everything for everyone. That's our niche. We need to become personalized to our patient care. When you're moving from a sick care to a well care model, you got to do you first. What does that mean? My mentor says, become the product of your product. What does that mean? You have to live and breathe wellness if you're going to be a wellness provider. It's very different than the sick care model. But you don't go to a pharmacist for your well care or your wellness solutions if you're 50 pounds overweight and you don't eat right and you don't do the right lifestyle choices to make you well. So you really need to do you first. In our mentorship that we've created, we put you through the programs before you deliver them to your patients. You have to become that product of your product. So you might be thinking, my patients won't pay for this. I get this question all the time. Well, the problem is we're not asking them. It's not a patient problem. If you deliver value, they will pay for it. So I aim to give 5 to 10x return on their investment of that exchange of money for what we give in value. And so It's a pharmacist money mindset. It's not your fault. It's not our fault as pharmacists. We've been giving away our cognitive ability to help our patients for free. So we need to think a little bit differently and change that money mindset. And lastly, find your tribe. Wellness is needed in this world. People are sick and they're suffering. They're getting worse. Wellness is not a competition. We need a tribe. We need an army of pharmacists moving towards wellness to make an impact in society, to make a true impact in our communities. We're the most accessible healthcare professional. In my mind, the pharmacist of the future is a health coach more than a dispenser of medications. So you could try this process. You can work through these pillars and become a wellness destination in your community. You can make more money. You could be less stressed. You can transform your life and your patients' lives. And guess what? The side effect of all that is more vacations and more family time, which is what really matters. Or maybe not. You could just go on billing, paying, trying to see if you can pay for your bills and pay for your family and pay for your business by just dispensing. But guess what? I know pharmacies going on fire sales because they haven't adopted this plan of going beyond. And that's what we need to do. So doing these steps like diversify, going beyond the pill, personal to personalized, doing these steps really helps. Find your tribe. Do you first. Do these things, and guess what? You're going to do it, and we'll be able to move our profession forward. The time is now. There is no more time to waste. We can't wait for the insurance model to catch up to this stuff. We can't wait. Its time is now. We need to do it for ourselves and for our patients. And so I've decided to do something. I've taken all the years of service, the tens, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've paid for coaching and certifications and all the things that I've done to get to this level, to create a mentorship and a mindshare community of pharmacists wanting to bring wellness into their practices. We can do this together. We need to do this together. So simply, let's have a conversation. Book a call with me. I'm here to help. I do no obligation 30-minute conversations with any pharmacist that wants to be wellness driven and put something into their pharmacies. I'll give you a 30-minute call, 90 minutes or 30 minutes. We'll go over a 90-day plan to get you moving towards beyond the pill. Remember, self-care in pharmacy for me is simple, easy, lucrative, and fun. Let's put that fun back in pharmacy and take care of our patients and our own families and our own lives. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. My podcast is Your Functional RX, and check out our website, dilworthdrug.com. Look at us and see what we're doing to bring wellness to our community and others. Stay well.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond the Pills podcast. You can find Josh on LinkedIn and Facebook at Josh Rimany and on TikTok at Beyond the Pills. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd be forever grateful if you left a review wherever you get your podcasts. If you know somebody who wants to go beyond the pills, send them this episode. If you've got any specific questions or ideas for future episodes, reach out to Josh and send him a message. Thanks again for being a part of the Beyond the Pills community. We'll see you next time.